So what is up, everybody? Timberverse here today. So we're gonna talk about this tweet from this Xbox guy, who is telling other Xbox guys not to be as toxic as the Sony fanboys are, but don't rub it into their faces that how Starfield is Xbox exclusive. So he pretty much says, kind of annoying to see Bethesda Game Studios release their first new IP in over 25 years, a game that is highly ambitious, and 95% of the tweets are talking about Starfield and all about how it's Xbox exclusive, and rubbing it in Sony fans' faces. As an Xbox fan, please STFU. So this is quite interesting. So he wants the Xbox gamers to be, like, in this instance, the bigger man of this instance, or turn the other cheek from all the slander and all the nonsense the Sony guys have been saying this entire generation and last generation as well. How Xbox has no games. Their last place is who will buy an Xbox. They have no exclusives. But now that Xbox gets an exclusive that people really want, you can't rub it in that, hey, this game is an Xbox exclusive, not on PlayStation. So it's just fascinating how this works out. So apparently Xbox guys are just supposed to take the nonsense they say on social media, and when they finally say that, hey, Starfield Xbox exclusive, it's a bad thing now. It's just interesting how this just works out like this. It's just interesting how this works. Man, this generation has brought a lot of crazy takes, like especially like this. So it's fine when Sony is doing all great. They have all these amazing exclusives. But when Xbox guys say they have one that they know these Sony guys want, it's a bad thing now. So he said more as well. He said update for those with literacy issues. This tweet is not complaining about exclusivity. It's complaining about responding to toxicity with toxicity and how that solves nothing. Then somebody says, you mean the same Sony fans that were dropping boom gifts when they thought PlayStation had secured its exclusivity instead? And the same Sony fans who bragged about Deathloop and Ghostwire. I don't like exclusives, but karma is a B. Yeah, it's kind of karma at this point, because this is that boom gift he was talking about when this Sony fanboy says Starfield Elder 6 was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and he was proven to be extremely wrong with how that turned out. Usually 95% of the replies are about Fallout 76. Yeah, they love to mention Fallout 76 because they feel that game is like a failure in Bethesda made. So they want to rub that Fallout 76 game in people's faces too. So this whole narrative the Xbox guys cannot brag about exclusive they have is just nonsense. They know what these Sony guys want. It's just nonsense. They have to keep saying it. People still think it's coming to PlayStation. It's better they find out now instead of the day before they try to buy. It will eventually come to PlayStation, whether that's a year or two after release. So people still think this is going to PlayStation. It is not going to PlayStation, people. This game is not coming on a PlayStation platform. I understand and agree with you to some extent, but it's just business. Besides, this should fix the whole Xbox can't compete narrative. Yeah, they love to say Xbox has no games. That's the biggest thing. People are still saying Xbox has no games to this very day. So if they can rub the Starfield as an Xbox exclusive in these guys' faces, I don't see a problem with it, to be honest. Like, if the narrative's out that Xbox has no games, they can say that Xbox is Starfield as Xbox exclusive at this point, to be honest. Every action from their camp has a reaction. It's just laws of physics. Can't be helped. Besides, just as many cent is going to be delayed, or it's going to be like Fallout 76 or Bethesda. My feed is full of the opposite. PlayStation fanboys claim they haven't shown it yet, as it is in development hell / early development. Fanboys on both sides seem to care more about who's winning than games, so best to just ignore them. It won't ever stop. That's what happens when ponies brag about exclusive games and exclusive third-party games that used to be multiplats. Exactly, I'm all about being the bigger person, but I'm also all about keeping the same energy when it comes to exclusives mattering and new IPs being so important and believing in generations. It's a fact they're not rubbing it in it's a fact they're not rubbing it in, but making sure people know it's exclusive. Until Aaron and Phil Spencer repeatedly said it's an Xbox exclusive, everyone didn't believe it and they thought it would be multi-plat. Okay. Don't feel sorry for those Sony fanboys. I agree. I don't feel sorry for those guys at all. Those guys are the most toxic people on the internet. But you want to be nice to the most toxic crowd on the internet. Okay. No reason to get bent out of shape while Xbox fans decided to have Starfield exclusive, and how many times has Sony fanboys tweet about their exclusives? It's a whole bunch. Let Xbox fans celebrate the Todd Howard next biggest game as Xbox IP, and their future Bethesda-made games are Xbox. Agree 100%. As a BGS fan, looking forward to Starfield since it was just a rumor, but since the merger, if you show any kind of hype for this game, you get called an Xbox shill. This game was hyped before it was ever exclusive. Let's see. It's just because ponies won't quit crying for it to be on PS5. Gotta make the point clear and repeatedly. What, dude? Sony fanboys cap for them 25 unannounced games, and it's fine. We hype up one exclusive mainly amongst ourselves, and it's a problem. Yeah. I also hate that most Bethesda fans, while remain few, ignore Starfield entirely and just want to skip back to the previous IPs. I agree that rubbing it in PlayStation fans' faces is toxic and Xbox fans shouldn't do that, but I also think that that's a little bit don't hurt because Xbox fans, including myself, have been plastered with how Xbox has no games and PlayStation has insert game. Yeah, you can have one side saying that that the one console has no games, but then when a person who has that console say, hey, it's a big game coming out, you can't be like, hey, don't do that now. That doesn't make any sense. There has to be some type of balance there. 100% agreed. Hopefully when we get some more glimpses of the game, that'll get people talking more about the actual title. Really hoping it's a return to form for BGS. But that's the game studio. Okay. Exhausting seeing fans accuse each other of the exact same thing. There are jerks in every fan base. Starfield is amazing, so tons and Xbox fans love it. No amount of online toxicity can actually impact the console, so it's pointless, like trying to change people's minds. Okay. Just like it was before with Spider-Man and Wolverine, 95% of the tweets was about how it's a PlayStation exclusive and rubbing it in Xbox fans' faces. Yeah, they definitely rub that Xbox fans' faces that you can't play Spider-Man or the new Wolverine game. Fans will always be fans. As a PC player, I don't give a S about either side, lol. As an Xbox fan, why can't we all just get along? They can keep that S. We eating good on the PlayStation side. So it's just magically this franchise is just crap now because it's not on PlayStation. It's just funny how that narrative just works now. That's just interesting. So it says cry more. As an Xbox fan, there has been years of ponies doing this, so no. We are better than that. Don't stoop to their level, my man. Oh man, this is just hilarious. Don't forget PlayStation fanboys downplaying the importance of the game with Fallout 76 and no gameplay. Strangely, the game was freaking huge before the acquisition, plus years of rubbing that Xbox has no games in our faces. Yeah, what do you mean? Starfield Xbox exclusive? Generally speaking, the actual major ROG fans aren't even on Twitter. Talking about games, RPG forums, Starfield is literally the only ROG on anyone's lips right now. It's the biggest RPG in over a decade. When they stop pretending stolen multi-plats are real exclusives, I'll shut up. Till then, Starfield is Xbox exclusive. You're either new to Xbox or you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. Imagine being told you have no games for 10 years. Imagine Sony blocking third-party games from coming to Xbox. Imagine entire media being biased for PlayStation. I could go on, but just want to say, I have absolutely no sympathy for Sony or PlayStation gamers. This is a long-needed retribution for Xbox gamers, and Xbox is only getting warmed up. A lot of people feel like that too. It's kind of like you can't be one of these toxic Sony fanboys and say, hey, Xbox has 0 games coming out. That platform is just a waste of space and all this other nonsense. For pretty much almost like 10 years. It was the Xbox One generation and the beginning of this generation. They still say Xbox has no games to this very day. So that's a long time to keep saying that one system just doesn't have any great games on that system, and it only have like 60 Metacritic rated games. So when they actually get a good game that comes out that people are actually anticipating, I don't see a problem with the rubbing in these guys' faces. I honestly don't see a problem with that whatsoever. It's like it's just that quote karma. It's just karma at this point. I agree with this. The toxic fanboy BS is exhausting. Pony still can't get over the exclusivity deal. Xbox fans have been constant for being excited about exclusives after the media bashed platform from almost a decade for not having any. Sony fans have been exhibiting this behavior for well over a decade. Karma's a B. I think it was bound to happen. As a Bethesda fan and PS5 owner, I think I still like the fact that Xbox now is competing to a certain extent, but I hope they surprise me and it's ambitious as they make it's as ambitious as they make it out to be. So he says, dog, we got God of War Ragnarok, Final Fantasy 16, Horizon Forbidden West, SMT, I don't know what that is, and Wolverine, Spider-Man 2 Wolverine coming. We good, big homie. Okay. Xbox exclusive, let's go. I tweeted recently about Starfield and mentioned its exclusivity. Nothing's being rubbed in anyone's face. I'm just sharing the fact of the matter just in case someone's looking into it. They know Xbox Game Pass or PC only. No, actually, please don't stop. I love it. Okay. It's not even exclusive. It's on PC too. Sony fanboys are the same garbage for years. Doesn't make it okay. Hate tribalism. The same Sony fans that were dropping boom gifts when they thought PlayStation has secured its exclusivity and said, and the same Sony fans who brag about Deathloop and Ghostwire. I don't like exclusives, but karma is a B. Thank you. I'm glad someone said it. As a PlayStation fan that owns a Series X, stop it. Yeah, so I'm going to conclude it right here, but it seems to be that it's like when people say karma is a B, so it kind of turned around on these guys. It's like saying Xbox has no games for like almost a decade to this point. And now Xbox guys are tired of that, so they're fed up, so they want to say, hey, we got one game that we know that you want, which is hyped up to the rooftops before the whole acquisition happened. So I don't see a problem with these guys rubbing into these Sony guys' faces. To be honest, they had to listen to it very long, and for a long time, the Xbox had no games. So yeah, it's just kind of what happens when you throw that negative energy out there. You get it right back at you at this point. So I definitely want to see your thoughts about this down below. Do you think the Xbox guys should be the bigger men at this point and just say, hey, we're not going to rub into these guys' faces? Or do you think the Xbox guys should just give these guys the karma they so well deserved? Let me know your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.